What's going on, guys? This is Frank with Geeky Gecko Creations, and this is how to train your dragon part 1. First, you'll want to make sure the dragon is in a container that it feels comfortable in. Sailfin dragons especially need high containers because they can jump, but also filled with a little bit of water because they just love water as if it's a shower. What I'm actually going to do right here is run the water a little bit and kind of clean up his mouth a little. He was rubbing his mouth ever so slightly on his new cage just from the stress of the moving, and so I just want to get some of that skin off there for him. They're usually really nice and reluctant to bite. Okay, now one of my training tactics is definitely to bring this boy outside because agamids have something called a sixth sense or a third eye on the top of their head, and they really pick up natural sunlight versus artificial. And so you can see a little bit of that rubbing that he got when he first came in, and I had a few big branches and stuff in his cage, and he was just kind of newer to the environment and trying to figure it out. So that's learning point number 3 as well, is maybe to give them a simple cage with not a lot of decorations or things for them to hurt themselves. I'll show that in another video as well. But look at this big, beautiful man right here. Just a Godzilla looking of an animal. And as you can see, I'm not even holding him tightly or anything like that. He's just chilling. Here's a big full body shot of him. If you act like a tree and become a branch for them, they will tend to just treat you like a tree. He's got that long tail for swimming. They're such impressive animals. I mean, look at this guy. Amazing. Look at his eye too. Let's see if we can eliminate the shadow there. We'll get a little closer. They have these beautiful turquoise eyes for the giant sailfin version, which is the Celebensis, and they have this beautiful crest on the top of their nose as well. And that's kind of rare to find because some of them rub off that crest, but also some of them just don't seem to have it. So when I got the chance to buy this boy, I want to make sure there's no shadow in the footage because he's so cool. I need to show him off. When I got the chance to buy this boy, he was the only one that actually had a large crest on his nose, which was one of the selling points for me. And he had a really nice face, like it wasn't that damaged. And it's still not that damaged. It's just slightly damaged in the front right there, a little bit right now. It happened right before shipping and they told me about it. And then it happened also here on night number 1. You know, I set him up and he was fine. And a half hour later, I was taking a shower and my wife's like, "Hey, your lizard's jumping around in the cage over there." See, he just loves the sun. Look at him. He loves it. And this is part of the training process. Get them out into the sun because it will be a treat for them. They'll love you for it. And in part 2, we will show different treats, like food treats that you could give these guys. But treat number 1, natural sun. There is nothing, no artificial bulb that could ever replace the natural sun for these guys. For any lizard, but especially sailfin dragons, bearded dragons, and other agamids that really have that sixth sense, that third eye on the top of their head. And let's see if we can actually show it to you. So you might not be able to see it, but it's right there. And that detects levels and rays of sun that we can't even as human beings. So pretty cool. There we go. Another tip is, tip number 4, is keep them up higher a little bit. Elevate your arm a little bit so that the animal feels like it is up high. Now I'm sitting down mainly for comfort, but if you were standing up, elevate yourself up. The problem with standing up is that if the animal happens to have a moment where it freaks out and jumps, then now it falls to the ground from that very high height. Look at this beautiful, giant, black, Indonesian sailfin dragon. And I was talking to another sailfin dragon owner. He said it's more rare to get the two-toned version like this, where it's black and like goldish yellow. So really, really cool. Look at the way he's looking at the environment. He's got this like Godzilla-like fins and crests going down his body. He's getting ready to jump. So I'm just trying to reposition myself in a way to where I can handle him well. There we go. Look at that. You know, a lot of lizards are really scared when they get outside, even if they've been tame. But sailfin dragons, they love it outside. They love it. We're just happy to give this boy what he loves. Some of that is a little bit of, I think, fruit and vegetables dried on his mouth from the diet we gave him last night. And he was eating some of that diet. There we go. He's just kind of crawling. And it's similar to a leopard gecko. If you just let them crawl, they'll just go from hand to hand and they'll be perfectly fine, you know? But let's take a close look at his body shot there. So starting at his head, we'll slowly go down his body all the way to the fin, which is one of the most impressive features of these animals, is that fin. I mean, look at this guy. We named our last sailfin Phineas, but this guy we need a name for. I was thinking something Godzilla related, so if you guys have anything Godzilla related, let me know. See, now he's just using me as a pure tree. Beautiful. When the sun is shining at the right angle too, you could see through their fin. It's really cool. Let me see if I could show you guys. There we go. I think you can see it. The sun is shining through the... Beautiful, beautiful animal. So this is handling video session number 1. How to train your dragon, part 1. Repeat this process a couple times a day. I would probably say 1 time a day minimum, so the animal starts to learn that when you come into its cage, you bring good things. You bring it the sunlight, you bring it the natural feeling of the outdoors that the animal has programmed into its DNA. See, they do have sharp claws, which is why I'm wearing these, which are like rose cutter protection sleeves. You can buy them right off Amazon. And I wanted a more tactile feel. I didn't want to wear gloves on my hands. So I used just general hardware gloves to pull him out of the cage and then bring him outside in a bucket. But then it's also a really good idea to have a separate big bucket outside that you can fill with some water so that you could filter him in and out of water. And that could be another thing that he really enjoys about his time with you, is that you bring him outside and you bring him to fresh water outside, which is perfect for these guys. So look at that. Beautiful, big, beautiful beauty right here. He actually whipped me with this the other day in the cage, like accidentally. He was running around and whipped me, and it actually cut my leg. It was so funny. Awesome, awesome creatures. This is the truest form to a dragon I think you can get in life nowadays. Godzilla, look at that spine. That Godzilla spine right there. Try to see if I can see it. Yeah, Godzilla, Godzilla. There we go, look at that. Hi, baby. Now, I don't know if you can see this or if it's coming through so well, but they have these beautiful turquoise blue eyes. It is absolutely stunning and insane. I'm gonna try to pull the camera off here so I can get a closer footage of it. There, look at that. Look at the beautiful blues in his eyes right there. I don't know any other creature that has beautiful blue irises like that. Absolutely insane. There's that beautiful crest on the top of his mouth. He's just kind of licking his chops right now. Golly, this is a gorgeous animal. Oh, let me show you too what I mean about the sun through the fins. If it didn't come through before, when the sun is shining at him, you can see it goes right through the fins. And you can see those bony structures or whatever it is in there. See if I back this camera up a bit. There we go. Golly, he is gorgeous. The Celebensis, which is the giant black ones, has these like raised emerald scales right there. A few more raised scales on the body, but we can kind of see just this color that we're showing off right here. Look at those Godzilla spikes on his neck. The other thing I wanted to show too, which is actually a little bit difficult, is it's really difficult by myself. Look, they'll always crawl to the top of where you're at. So he's starting to crawl to the top of my shoulder right here. Pretty cool. All right, he's making his way to my head here. I'm trying to see if he's gonna jump onto my head. Another trick you could do is spin them around like this, and they start to, their gaze starts to get locked onto other objects. And that's just kind of a training tool for any lizard. Okay, this is definitely how to train your dragon. But tip number 1, they love sun. He's way calmer out here than he actually is inside in his own cage. One of the reasons being he just loves the sun. What I want it, go into my head. I want to see if he'll go into my head. Yes, go up there, buddy. See if you could get a shot of the nail inside of the nail. It's kind of tough. You could click on the nail to see if the camera will zoom in on that one nail. And yeah, there we go, there we go. Okay, so it's got this interesting nail in the nail. I don't know if you know anything about birds or parrots, but they actually have blood vessels that go down into their nails, and you're not supposed to cut their nails high up because of the blood vessels. They'll wind up bleeding. You could cut their nails where the blood vessels go lower, but I'm wondering if this is something similar. There's a nail in a nail. I'm wondering if there's like blood vessels in there, just so these animals can be more tactile and they could kind of feel their environment a little bit more as they're crawling around, because they're crawling 100 feet up into trees in the wild. It's pretty crazy. So we're gonna give this guy a bath. This is training session number 1 for this guy outside after the unboxing, which took place outside. Probably later today, I'll do another training session with him at like midday, noon, afternoon, so that he could get a little bit more sunlight. And I think through these training sessions, it's gonna help him to trust me more, and also to calm down, and to know that when I come into his cage, I bring him things that he likes. I bring him food, I bring him outside time, I bring him water, as we're gonna put him in some water as we go away here. And I think that little by little, they're so willing to trust once they kind of learn who you are. And little by little, we will get him to a place where he'll be like this with everybody. Outdoors, indoors, whatever. Man, look at that, it's tearing me up, dude. We're gonna give him a little bit more of a bath before he goes back in from session number 1. They love their outdoor baths. See, now he's a little down lower. He doesn't prefer that, but the water is very good for their skin. He also probably doesn't like the fact that I'm so high up above him. That's just the only way I could water him right now. Maybe in the future, I'll put this thing, I'll put it on a table, like that table, and I'll bring the table out here so that he will be higher up when he's bathing in water. I just wanted to get some cool shots of him in the water, because it's so awesome and majestic to see these creatures just in their natural environment of like bathing in water and stuff like that. Is really cool. There's that sixth sense, third eye right there, and that detects levels of sunlight that we can't even process as human beings. It's pretty interesting. Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of this video. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here so that I can end session number 1 with this guy. When I do training session number 2, I'm gonna do the same exact thing, but I'm gonna try to incorporate a banana, blueberries, a little bit of fruit for him, so that he also gets the understanding that he comes outside, he gets water, and he gets food. So thank you guys very much. If you like this video, please comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And we're actually raising babies of these right now. So if you have interest in bringing on a baby and the challenge of a sailfin dragon into your operation, they're fairly easy creatures to keep. We're learning a lot more about their care requirements and needs. And if you stick to those care requirements and needs, they are probably one of the most fulfilling reptiles that you could ever own. Truly, truly mean that. So that's why I'm really passionate to work with this species and also get a captive bred project of these going on. So until next time, my friends, stay safe, feed that passion for your reptiles, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a geeky gecko great day. Peace.